Hello everyone, how are you going today? This is Ash. Today we're doing a sexy dragon tier list that I talked about on my Twitter. I was kind of just wanted to make one of these tier lists, but obviously me being me, I wanted to make one about how cool dragons are, but more specifically how sexy dragons are. Mostly as a joke, but so I got a bunch of people to send me a bunch of dragons, and I'm gonna rate them. A lot of these I already know, like, I'm pretty well versed in dragons, so I already know them and have ratings for them, but I will try to explain some of my ratings and my system. So I have three sets here in Paint Till Sai, and we'll start in the first set, because I think this one was a bunch of the first ones I got. So you can see a bunch of big images because I wanted to be able to show them off before I turn them really small down into their list, for example. So they'll end up being like tiny like this. Okay, so getting straight into it, let's start at the bottom, which this is Borrelode Savage Dragon from Vrains. I have a few Vrains dragons here, and personally, I don't really remember any of them except for Firewall. I haven't really seen much Vrains, but this guy, he's a pretty sexy looking dragon. Usually metal doesn't really do it for me with dragon designs. Like, it's gotta be really harmonious to the dragon. See, like this, I don't really like this, or the way his wings are so bulky. The legs look okay, and like, I like these things on the arms. Because arms can be bulky, but like the body-wise, it just doesn't represent a dragon. It's much more mechanical human, and that's like a problem with Yu-Gi-Oh designs that I find. They just slap like human armor onto dragons, but other than that, I do very much appreciate his horns, like, and these things coming out the back, which I guess are kind of like just either weirdly flabs of skin or horns, but I appreciate them either way because his face looks really cool. I really like the way they've done the metal. See how the metal is like merged to his skin almost? Like it goes over the contours of the dragon's skin, and that's what I really like. So, and I do like the flare of his wings like this. Like that's the kind of like metal thing you get. Like, I like that. This guy's really cool. I don't like his chest, but I like pretty much everything else. So I'm gonna give this guy a solid C to begin with, because to me he's a solid C. He's got some really cool things, but the metal is just, it's too human. It's not designed for a dragon. Okay, so next up we have Stardust Dragon, who is obviously a babe. I mean, he's just legendary dragon status. I very much do like the design of Stardust Dragon. I like the way he has just like a bunch of plates everywhere. Like, not really so much scales. Like, these are the sections where you'd assume there'd be scales. But he looks a little too buff to have scales, so maybe he's just got skin. But that's weird, we ain't getting into that. But I really like his wings. I like how out there his wing design is. And I like the way he's got these weird things come out. You can't really see it with this picture, but he has a spine that comes out here. Like, that's his giant horn thing on the back. That comes out the back of his head. And then this weird, like, bottlenose dolphin thing going on here, but he's still got the dragon lizard look down here, which I really like. I mean, it looks kind of stupid, but it's kind of stupid in that it's unique, and I really like that about Stardust. So I'm gonna, I hope those zooming outs don't make my PC cry, or my laptop I should say. I'm gonna put him in a B. I think Stardust Dragon is a solid B. I want to put him in an A, but there's just a few things that, like, I don't like how skinny he is, personally. Like, he is a lot more humanoid, and I don't know. I just doesn't personally do it for me. This is my list. If you want to put him as an A, go for it, you know? So now we have, wait, I don't know this guy's name. I know he's from Godzilla. King Ghidorah is how I'm gonna say that. And if I mispronounce a dragon's name, I'm very sorry. Okay, so this guy is an absolute babe. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. This is the model of the figure. I remember seeing this figure coming out, and it looks gorgeous. I'd get it just because it's a gorgeous figure, even if I don't know him. I really like his wing design. It's really unique. Like, this is the usual bat look of a dragon. Sometimes you have an extra one down here sort of thing for support, but he's kind of got ones coming out of his body, which I don't think I've ever really seen before, and I kind of really like that. I like this detail on his heads. I really like the excessive use of horns slash spikes coming out there, and I like the way it's harmonious to the way his tail is designed as well. He is basically just a perfect dragon. I'm gonna give him an A because, oh, sorry, Gendor is in the way. I'm gonna give him an A because honestly, he's just got such a fantastical design, and 3 heads better than 1, right? So now we have Gandora, and if you know me, this is like my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Dragon ever. This is his new design. I like his old design a little better because he's less metallic, but I really appreciate the way they've added gigantic, like, these gigantic things onto his front arms, and the way his tail is just so bulky, and I just like the way he looks so bulky in this. It's very nice. I'm not too big of a fan of the way they changed his big dorsal fin thing, or whatever you call it, the spike on his head, but I do like the way they added this giant spike here, and they've added these, like, tusk things on the side. That's really cool. And his wings look awesome. Basically, you know, it's Gandora. He's my favorite dragon. I'm sorry, he's getting an S. This is a biased dragon review, and everyone should technically get an S. I did think about doing a joke where I put them all in the S category, but then I was like, I'm probably gonna run out of room. But no, in my heart, all dragons deserve an S, but I am trying to be a little more fair to the design work. Okay, so now we have this one down here. Another Vrain's Dragon, I believe. Wait. Yep, you can tell because it's got Playmaker in the background. So it's a Vrain's Dragon. He is... I like him a little more than his counterpart here, or not counterpart. I don't actually know if they're related, or perhaps related is the wrong word for Yu-Gi-Oh! Dragons, but I don't know if they're used, like, they come from the same family of cards or something like that. Like, you get card names that all work together. But, anyway, I kind of like the way he's got this weird pink-colored skin thing. Pink and black works really well together because basically black and any lighter color, because it just contrasts so perfectly. So that's really got it going there. Like, for example, if this was less white, more black, and more red, it'd look very nice, because red and black is a very nice color scheme. Now, back to this guy. I like his wings. These parts out here are a little weird, but I kind of like this. It's like a little sci-fi thing. And the way these wings work, kind of like a beehive structure. I really like that. I like the way he's got gigantic shoulder pads that also lead into supporting his wings. This is amazing. I don't know what's exactly going on here, but it's really got that virusy look, like it looks like a Mega Man character, sort of, in that way, and I really like that. I think he's really cool. He's got the bird beak look going there. I really like this guy. He is a bit better than the previous one, the Beaumont Dragon. So I'm gonna give him a B. I'm gonna shove him up with Stardust, because he's just really cool, and I really like his design. So now we have, let me read this. It is Ninian's dragon form from Fire Emblem Blazing Blade, which is a bit of a mouthful, but I don't know much about Fire Emblem, so I had to type it all in, so I got it right. Okay, so this is a very sea dragon appearance. You can kind of tell from the way it's, excuse me, that was me sniffing. From the way he's, oh, there, sorry, I don't actually know what the human form of this one is. I will refer to them as a they. The way their, fins will kind of flop a little bit. That's generally because of, like, water exposure. Like, that's just a design for it, sort of thing. And these, this kind of fin is very reminiscent of, dorsal fin, so people put it in designs because it, like, streamlines the dragon. Now, I could be completely and utterly wrong. This could just not be a dragon related to water whatsoever, but just going off the design and the way it's, streamlined for, like, water, or, I guess you could also say maybe, like, air. Like, it could be streamlined for air, too. So it could just be a dragon that flies a lot. Judging by this art, kind of looks like it could be, like, a thunder dragon. It's not how I would design a thunder dragon, but I kind of like that if this was, like, a thunder dragon, it's just, like, such an out there design that it kind of fools you into thinking it's something else. I kind of like that, but I still think it's a sea dragon based on its appearance. But I do very much appreciated. I really like its I really like the fins, the colors. I'm especially very fond of this color of green because green is my favorite color, and I really like deeper colors of green, and like nice ones like this, like aqua and turquoisey are really nice too. These things I find a little bit weird, like they're just randomly shoved up there onto the chest. Like, how you gonna slap your hands on them titties if you can't? You're too worried that there's spikes there. But it is they are a very sexy dragon. I very much like it. I like the way that this is really like there's not really any spikes coming out because it has fins. You don't need fins and spikes. It's like one or the other, you know, kind of thing. So I like the way they've just gone for the fin look. I really like them. I'm gonna give them a B because I like them and I want to get to know them better. So the last one in this set is the Ninja Tribunal Dragon Raphael from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2K3, which I don't know what that means, the 2K3, but I'm assuming it's code for one of the shows or the comics. Considering this image down here says 4Kids Entertainment, I'm guessing it is a show. Also, it's kind of cel-shaded like it's in a show. So this guy, judging by the name, I want to say it's a dragon form of one of the Ninja Turtles, but look, I haven't watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in years, since I was a wee little fetus. So I'm just gonna go with the dragon and not consider how they've incorporated. Like, if it is a dragon form of one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because it says Dragon Raphael, I'm not gonna, like, judge it or compare it based on how much of his personality it oozes into his dragon form. If that's true, I'm just guessing because it says Dragon Raphael, but I'm just gonna judge it on its appearance alone. And color scheme wise, I think it's really cool. It really does look like it looks perfectly like it's been designed for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles universe, I mean. It looks like it would fit really well in with what I know about it and like the monsters I've seen in it. I really like it. That was me sniffing again, sorry. I like the way he's got, like, cream-colored on his inner claws, but the green of the rest of his body is there. But, like, he doesn't have the cream anywhere else. Like, that's a really nice touch there, that they didn't just do it red to match the rest. The green and the red, work nicely together, because I really like the way they're just, like they kind of like spark against each other, like, as opposed to like when I was mentioning a black and red color scheme's nice because the red accents the black really nicely and your eyes are more drawn to the red sections. Whereas like this, because red and green are on opposite ends, pretty much opposite ends of the color wheel, it's like they really contrast each other in like a harsh way, but it's done in such a nice way, if that makes sense. I'm not really sure how to explain it, but I like it. I like it. And I'm also a little biased because I like green. This isn't my kind of favorite shade of green. This is more of the green that I don't really like, but I kind of still like it. Like, I'm not going to judge it based on my favorite shades of green. This isn't 50 Shades of Green. But I do really like it. I like the whiskered look we got going here. I like the way it still has a shell, like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Be prepared for me to say that twice every time. And these weird kind of things they've got going on here, because they look kind of like the weapon here on the arms, which I do like the weapon on the back of the arms. That's really nice. And I kind of like the way that these spike things that come off look like them too. But they also kind of look like they'd be maybe a little less flat, so you could like flatten them down against the back to like streamline the appearance sort of thing. Like, they don't stick out like spikes. I mean, they probably are spikes, but they don't personally look like it to me. These look like spikes because they're horns, so they would have like bone in them. But these don't look like they've got bone. That's what I mean. I like the way it's here too, on the back of the jawline. In other words, this is a really nice design. Not the kind of thing I'd expect from something like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is what I think is really cool. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give him a B. He's gonna go in the B category because he's got a lot of nice design elements, and I like that. Okay, on to the next set. Here we go. Let's go down the bottom. Okay, so some of these I don't know. I see some characters from, like, I think these ones are from, what's that game? Dragon Age, with the dragons. So this is Gamordan Storm Rider, which is, yeah, this one down here. So this one, when I was putting them in, I really like the design work. Like, there's some fascinating stuff here. Like, it's really nicely modeled. Like, you can tell the spikes and everything, like, sorry, the scales and then the little spikes. Just the little details, like, this is very nicely modeled. You can clearly tell this game has a high budget. And just a lot of love and care was gone into crafting these kind of things. I really like the wings. I like how big they are. It feels very nice, and especially since its name is, Storm Rider, it kind of makes sense that it'd be big. I like the way it has a really dark blue, but not, like, too dark blue, you know? Like, it's slightly lighter than what you usually consider, like, a navy blue, but I guess it kind of is a navy blue. But it's really nice. I like the way they've got orange on there to contrast in the wings and in the body parts, which kind of melds into yellow a little more in the underbelly, but it's like, it's perfect. It's great. I really love it. The orange tinges on the wing, but the more yellow down here, perfect. Amazing. And the white here, that's really nice. It's got the white on the tail too, but not really here. Like, this looks like a lighting effect, not a white. That's a white, but that's a lighting effect to my knowledge, but it could be white there too. Either way, I really love it. I think it's amazing. The horns as well. It's got a kind of a weird face. It's got one of those gigantic jaws and smaller front heads, and I kind of like it the other way around. I like a head that's, like, it has an overbite, not an underbite kind of thing, if it's gonna have one. But these horns are fantastic. Either, like, overall, this design is just solid, and I'm gonna put it in the A because I really, really like this design. Next we've got the Sandy Howler, which I believe is also from Dragon Age. Don't at me if it's not. No, you can at me, that's fine. So I like this one straight away, the wing pattern. As soon as that thing opens its wings, bam, look at that. So much detail and so much, like, chaos going on there that I just really like it. It's like, you kind of, like, snap them open to stun your prey, I guess, like, something like that. Like, it looks like it has some nice lore towards it. And, it's more chaotic up here, but it, like, smooths down into a normal kind of big cat pattern over here. The horns I really like. It doesn't take much for me to really like horns, but I especially just really like to see the way people design horns. That's really cool. I can't see the tail, which is a shame, but, I am going just based off the images people sent me. I made that, like, that was my rule, because I don't want to go searching for, like, a million different images. I want to just base them off what I see here. That's just what's happening. But I really like them. I'm gonna give them a B, because, honestly, it seems pretty solid. And, I can't see the edge of the line, so we'll just have to hope that's right. It's a solid design. If I saw more, maybe an A, but I think a B. It just doesn't have the same flair this one has, you know? Okay, so this is a Skyrim Dragon. I kind of don't want to say its name because I know I'm going to butcher it, and I'm self-conscious about butchering names. So this is its name. I'm going to refer to them as Vul if I say their name, because I abbreviate everything. I am Australian. So, here we go. So, this one, now, the thing with Skyrim Dragons is mostly they're just the same model and a few little tiny extras are shoved on top, so I'm not really looking much for design work. It's just gonna look like most other dragons you fight in the game, which is a bit of a shame that they didn't add more sort of thing. That's a massive jaw. I do appreciate that. But color-wise, I like it. It's got that lava-y effect, but it doesn't look like lava. It looks very much like a natural skin tone, and I like the way the black accents most of it. So there's not most black, like the black is on the underbelly and the back of the legs, and some parts here, which I like this splodge effect. That's really nice. But mostly the oranges and the reds get to take forefront. Because it's just kind of a base design, I'm gonna put it in C. I mean, I really like the color design, but man, Skyrim could be a little disappointing in how they don't let their dragons really go out. So this is Negagante from Monster Hunter, which, you know, he's best boy. You know, this is gonna go in S. I'm biased. He's gonna go in S. Best boy. So this is the spiky boy. So, I just really love so many elements about Nergigante. So he's got gigantic hands, he's got spikes everywhere, like you see the spikes on his legs, you see the spikes on his hands, like it's just on his arms. They're like varying degrees and everything like that. And I'm pretty sure at certain points he like can like stick them out more or something. I'm not sure. I'm not good at Monster Hunter, so I've never really played much. I really like the way his face is like it's kind of small compared to the rest, but it's not small in like a weird way. Sometimes you can get like, I'm much more fond of a dragon like this that has a much more pronounced snout sort of thing. That's a really nice look for me. I really like that. But Nergigante kind of just makes up for it. Like, it has a small face, but he's got like gigantic teeth. He's got really nice pointy jaw. Like, his jaw has a really nice silhouette to it. And obviously his main feature is these gigantic horns, which are just the best thing ever. They're modeled so perfectly. And I just like the way his spikes start here too. So they don't start just at his back and he has like one big one here. They start here and they mold into the horns as well. And there's just spikes everywhere. He's a beautiful big spiky boy and he gets an S rank. I'm very biased and these are my favorite dragons. But I love them all anyway. I love every dragon. So this is Firewall from Vrain's Firewall Dragon. I know this one. This is the one I knew from Vrain's. And this design, I really like the way they've got this look going here, this cyber look. And I like the way it's the underbelly. That's really important to me. The underbelly and the wings being the same. It's very harmonious. And I like the way it's even stretched into the limbs. That's really cool. The armor, like, I like this part of the armor. Once again, I really don't like the chest. I really think they gotta work on designing their chest pieces better. They kinda look like garbage. But at least this one has a cute little gem in it. That's going for it, I guess. And I like the way this clamps around the neck sort of thing like that. That's a lot cooler. I don't like the way this protrudes in a weird way, but shoulder pads, nice. I like these things. They don't, like, they're not aerodynamic or anything, but this guy, I don't feel like he needs to be aerodynamic because he lives in cyberspace. So, like, you know, go wild. And I really like the way he's got this weird, especially one, like, it adds pieces to his design because they're on his legs, they're on his hands, and there's one on his tail. They could have done, like, a million on his tail, but I kind of like the way he's just got a little one back there. And, I like the way he's got, like, his wings look like they're joints. Like, if you got a figure of him, he'd have exactly the same joints where his limbs are, sort of thing. Where these joints are. I kind of like that. That's really nice. He's got really nice looking wings. I don't ever recall seeing him animated, but I kind of would hope that, like, little lights would, grow brighter and go through here, like data's being transmitted sort of thing. That would be really cool. Or that they would move up and down sort of thing. But that would be really hard to animate, and I can't blame them for not wanting to do that. But yeah, Firewall has a really nice solid design. He's still got spikes, he's still got, like, a lot of cool things. I'm gonna give him a B because he's a lot like Stardust. I find he's a lot like Stardust, but I am a bit more biased in Stardust because I think his design has cooler colors. Firewall has better colors, but Stardust just feels a little nicer to look at, and that's very important. I don't know this one's name. Let me look at it. Cyverse Quantum Dragon. Okay, so this guy is really nice. I actually like the design. I really like the head. I like the way these spikes are just a million of them coming out. He's got the Nergigante look going. I really like these weird-ass shoulder pads, how big they are. And I like the way his hands still look, like his arms and hands are still decently sized. And his legs, yes, also, they're kind of a little weaker, but I kind of just like the way they're just big and bulky because he's got big and bulky shoulder pads. So get big and bulky legs, you know. Consistency, I like it. Tail, nice. No problems there. The chest looks million times better. I like this a lot more. I like the way they've gone for the limbs instead of the chest. And he's even got these weird funky things going out there. That's great. And these pieces on the wings, they're great. This is just a really nice design. He gets a B too. They get to go up with Firewall and Stardust because I think they deserve it. Okay, so I've run out of space in the B, so we'll just have to see how we go. So this is the last set. The last ones people have sent me. So we're on the home stretch. So this is the Red Eyes Black Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh, obviously. But, you know, if you didn't know, this is a piece of stylized art from Kazuki Takahashi, the creator. of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's not the usual art you're probably used to seeing on that one artwork or like a screenshot. But I like that I was sent this one because I really like this piece of art. This is like further into the series and he's like drawn these he did a Blue Eyes one as well, so it's like, you know, he's come back and revised his design and just gotten to draw it for fun. Like, you know, I can't blame the guy. How cool is that? So Red Eyes is really solid, really solid in design because it's just a bunch of plates all shoved together kind of thing. Like, he's got that really angular look going and makes him look angry and tough all the time, but I just really like Red Eyes. It's just, there's something so appealing, and especially the mouth. It's got that curve going, that the spikes here, like, oh man, Red Eyes is just so good. I'm gonna put him in the A. Red Eyes gets an A, because he's better than the other Yu-Gi-Oh! Dragons, except for Gandora, because Gandora's the best. Now, Bahamut from Final Fantasy X, which, I'm just gonna go out and say it, is the best dragon design ever made. Full stop. This is the end. Exit now. Bahamut from, like, also, I know people pronounce it differently, but I've always called it Bahamut, and that's what I'm gonna call it, not Bahamut, which probably makes more sense. I will give you that, but I'm gonna keep mispronouncing it. Leave me alone, don't at me. So, Bahamut is gorgeous. This is just, like, the pinnacle of dragon design when you're doing something stylized. Like, I don't think he is, like, perfect in terms of, like, any old dragon. Like, obviously situational and conceptual, like, everything matters, the context of everything. For example, he wouldn't be a very good kaiju instead of the one with the 3 heads, this one, for working in that design. But in terms of, like, dragon design, this is how I think you should incorporate more metallical aspects, I guess, into it. He's very much still has the dragon appearance. He's a bipedal dragon. He's got gigantic shoulder pads. I really like stupid giant shoulder pads. And just, his design is just so pleasant to look at. The colors are fantastic. And it's just, oh man, I just want to cry looking at Bahamut. It's just my favorite dragon. I love him. Alright, so, one of the things with Bahamut is he has a very small head. Like, eyes, snout, mouth, bottom jaw. It's very, very small. But, like, usually that doesn't really do it for me. I don't like small snouts, like I mentioned before. But he also has, like, almost like compensation. He has gigantic horn things that come out the back, and they just look so gorgeous. He adds a really nice weight to his head. So, like, if he wants to tilt his head down, he's got weight supports on the back, sort of thing. It does look like it might be a little heavy, but also, look at this guy. He's built like a tank. The colors as well, I just briefly mentioned, they're perfect. They're gorgeous. A+ S rank, god tier level right here. The black that's not perfectly black because it's, you know, it's a model. It's more bluish, I guess, to distinguish the parts of him easier, which is a nice touch. I like the way his, like, scale parts here are purple, but they're, like, a darker purple, more muted, and they've got nice highlights on them. So you can still see every single individual scale part, or, like, plate, but it takes less attention away from the bigger parts. And also you've got the nice highlights in the yellow, like the really dark color against the really light. Of course, I mentioned that before with the black and red. And the way it goes down here, it's just really nice design. The way his claws, the end of his claws, are solidly yellow. They're like giant little parts, almost like they're like manicures in a way. They're really nice. I love them perfectly. Of course, there's the giant wheel at the back that he uses in his final overdrive, but that's just gorgeous too. That's very reminiscent of his faith. But the wings as well, like, the wings are obviously the main part. Like, you've got the main body, which is very harmonious in its 3-color design, and then you've got the wheel, which is just the yellow to, like, highlight the yellow and to show brightness behind the dark, so that your eyes are more drawn to the certain sections, like the yellow parts, and you could see him better. But the wings are just gorgeous. Like, they completely throw out this color scheme almost. So they've got these ones here, which are the same color scheme as the body, obviously. You've got the blue and the gold and the purple. But then you've got white here suddenly. You've got a bright purple. You've got orange. You've got red. The gold is still there to link it all together and add it into the normal design. So the gold is really the thing that's like, it's like his meat of it all. And that's why that thing is gold too. Like, oh, it's just so perfect. Anyway, the point of the matter is, it's like, this is a gorgeous design. Bahamut is an S rank. This is a dragon that you can't say no to. If it comes up to you and it's like, hi, you just melt instantly. It could say anything and I'd melt instantly. I love Bahamut. Thank you, whoever designed this. The team, whoever did this, you're geniuses. Thank you. Okay, moving on, because we don't want to talk about Bahamut for like 700 years. So, the next one is Blue Dragon from Blue Dragon. As far as I'm aware, he is only called Blue Dragon. I have personally never played the Xbox original game. I played a bit of the DS one, but I was more into the show. I watched the show as a kid, and it was like my favorite thing ever. I love Blue Dragon. His design is really solid. It's really nice. But it's also kind of simplistic. Like, he's just a big buff dragon that's like a shadow sort of thing. I don't think he really has much going for him. I like the way he's got like hoops along his horns, and I really like his face. And he has a fantastical character, but I can't really judge him based on his character because I don't know some of the characters with these other ones. Some of them are just Yu-Gi-Oh cards, so you know. I'm gonna give him a C because even though I love Blue Dragon to death, and I'm a little biased because it's one of my favorite shows and series and shit, I love it. But I can't, like, based on design, you know. Also, he's kind of an asshole, so if I was basing on, like, would I date this dragon if I know them? Which I would do if I knew the personalities of all the other dragons. Like, some of them, like, this is obviously a person, so it deserves a better personality. This one, too. The ones that are cards, you can just kind of make up your own personality based on their looks. But in terms of, I guess, this is very superficial because we're basing on looks, so not a good way to find a date. But, you know, we're just talking about sexy dragon designs. Okay, so, moving on. We're almost at the end. So, this is Haku from Spirited Away. Obviously, a very iconic design. Very, very, typical Asian dragon in that he has fur, he doesn't have wings, he flies kind of on his own. He's got chicken legs, which I don't think is, I don't think it's necessarily a traditional Asian design, Asian dragon design, or Eastern dragon design. They usually have, like, normal dragon legs and then like tufts of fur along them and stuff, but fur very much so. Eastern dragons are usually very furry, whereas the Western ones are the more typical, I have wings and 4 limbs and I'm scaly and I breathe fire sort of thing. So like Cinder over here. So Haku, he's just very iconic. He has a very nice silhouette. He's very nice. He still has distinct differences. Like, I especially love the shape of his head. He's got that bicycle seat look going on, and I really love it. I like the way he's got ears, but they don't interfere. Ears can be really hard to do on a dragon, but they really show nice emotion, too. It's more human, so it, like, can relate to dragon more, which, you know, he is a human, and he does transform, so, he, like, you know, he's got that distinction, like, it links them together very nicely. His horns, perfect, gorgeous. His color scheme, perfect, gorgeous, love it. It's very nice. He gets, I want to put him in the BA category. I'm kind of out of room in the B, so he's kind of just going to go over here. And he's kind of in the middle because he has a very nice design, and I very much love it. But he's just maybe a little too simplistic for my taste, in a way. And this is my sexy dragon tier list. So now we have Cinder from, what's the first game called? A New Beginning. The Legend of Spyro, A New Beginning, which is the first in the trilogy of the next-gen Spyro games, as they kind of were, which is after it changed licenses from Insomniac. So I think Sierra developed these? I can't remember exactly, but these ones, okay, so for reference, there's Spyro in this game, and this is how big Cinder is. Now, all lore aside from the game, because she's like, this is like her corrupted form and stuff with Malifaux, like, corrupts her and stuff. Whereas, like, if you notice this one over here, that's more of her normal form, where she's the same size as Spyro. But, lore aside, just looking at the design, I absolutely love A New Beginning Cinder. She's just really wonderful, and she just really rocks what she has. She's really slim, so she's, like, really streamlined, but she's got gigantic wings, so, like, you can just tell she has so much power behind her movements. I don't know why they need to have holes in her wings. That kind of defeats the purpose of having wings. I like the way they could have just gone with this kind of thing, this weird look here. Those look like they'd stab my eye out. I love them. And I really like the way she's got these, like, consistent kind of pieces of jewelry, I guess. But as you can see with this one, and they're on all of them, they kind of just got like spikes coming out of either side, where it's kind of like if you tilt too far, you're gonna like hurt yourself, like ow. But it kind of like lends really well into the fact that, you know, she doesn't have full control of herself, or her mind's being twisted and she doesn't really know what she should be, sort of thing. I absolutely adore her snout, her face, perfect. I love the amount of spikes coming out here. It's really nice. I like the way they start at the jawline. That's really nice, and that they go down a little bit. Her markings are quite nice. This is definitely a new Legend of Spyro effect. Everyone kind of had markings and stuff. The claws here feel maybe a little weak. These ones are okay, but yeah, just coming out of here, they kind of feel like weird places. Also, her limbs are maybe a little skinny, like, it kind of feels too much like they've tried to go in with a slender woman look, sort of thing. Like, she's a girl dragon, she needs to be very thin, which is... I like her streamlined body, but that's kind of what the legs give off, which is a little... not really fond of. I like her tail blade too, and the color scheme is just perfect, like, the black and the pink, it just highlights it so well, although this is actually a dark purple, like you could see. Over here, she's actually purple, but it's a lot more darker in this one, and if you compare them based to the first game to the third game, when she's more in control of herself, she knows who she is, sort of thing, she's doing what she loves, the change is just, it's really nice, like, it speaks really well to the designs. I'm gonna give her an A, because I really like Cinder, and her design is perfect. So this is, Segmental Dragon. I hope I copied that right. It's not, it's Segmental Dragon. Excuse me? Why is there a D there? Thank God I have the Yu-Gi-Oh card of this. Okay, so Segmental Dragon, not Segmental Dragon. That was really dumb, but I'm gonna leave it in there because it was kind of funny too. So Segmental Dragon is... you know, it's a metal dragon, but I think there's something nicer about this one that I kind of like. Like, I like the wings. It feels very much like its name kind of makes sense. Has, like, a purpose to its name, I guess. These things just coming off here, like, wow, that's cool, that's awesome. What a nice design element. They kind of go through, and they're here too. Like, it's not just a one-off thing. Like, it's a consistency through the back of the dragon's design. I like that. All of the bright colors in with the dark. I like the way it's not just metallical parts in that, like, they kind of look aged, like they've got that sepia effect to them, and that looks a lot nicer than just giving it clean shiny ones like that color or that color. You know what I mean? It's not like slick shine. It kind of looks like it's got some wear to it, which means that, you know, the dragon is actually like, it adds more personality, I feel, to the dragon. I don't think they look sexy, personally, like, in general, but I kind of do appreciate this look. They've kind of, like, got the bird look going in their face, and the wings kind of feel more bird-like. So, personally, it kind of feels like it's more based off, like, a mechanical owl or something like that. Like, a segment of time, I guess you could say. And I kind of really like that. I'm gonna give them a B, because I don't think they should be in the same category as that one. And their design's quite nice, so... the B-A sort of thing, I'm putting him over here with Haku. Okay, so the last one is Cinder from, Dawn of the Dragon, the third game in the Legend of Spyro trilogy. This is a really nice design, and I like it a lot more. She's bulked up a bit more, which it's really nice to compare these two in terms of when she was super corrupted by Malefor and didn't have control of herself and wasn't really herself, to when she's like, she goes through development, the second game, and then she comes back, bam, here she is, she's like I think she's like a teenager or something, so, you know, I'm not basing on sexy looks in terms of would fuck a dragon sort of thing. But appearance-wise, I am going to say she looks 100 times better, and I'm so proud of her. She looks great. I don't know if the addition of these was a good addition in terms of, like, the symbolism they could have carried on that one. Like, maybe if she got rid of the spikes, but I also think it could be nice that she's owning the spikes, like, you know what I mean? In terms of, like, oh, she knows that these were on her when she was corrupted, but bam, she's owning that brand now. Get out, Malefor, you can't do that anymore. This is a new girl. I love it. It's great. Her colors look much better. Her purple looks so much better in terms of, like, it's just, It's brighter, it pops more, but it's still so symbiotic to the pink that it just looks so nice. Like, you can just tell she feels better. She's a new woman. She's out there. She's gonna kick your ass, Malifor. Yeah, I love it. I love it. This design, I'm honestly gonna give it an S. She gets in the S rank because Cinder deserves it. She's perfect. I personally like this form a lot more in terms of like what they could do with it in the game, and it could just be really nice, except for the fact that she's got holes there. Those really shouldn't be there. But I personally like it a lot more in terms of, oh, she's a gigantic dragon. It's really cool. It's awesome. I personally like this design more. But in terms of, like, more appealing, I guess this Cinder, because this one feels better. This design is nicer, but this one feels better. You could just tell that this is, like, a poor, starved girl. But this one, she's out there, she's gonna get her uni degree. She is gonna be her own woman. Okay, so that's my ranking. That's it. That's all the ones I had. Thank you, everyone who sent me dragons. I hope that I have done an okay job in rating these dragons. Personally, they all deserve an S because all dragons are perfect just from being a dragon. That's how it works. But personally, this is what I think works. Yeah, I think some of these could easily be changed around. For example, these three could easily be shoved into an S tier just because the same thing I explained with Cinder. Honestly, I'd put these ones side by side. They're both quite perfect. I should probably move her up to an S, but I'm just gonna leave it how it is. Red Eyes could easily be an S. I put it in the A just because I personally think, like, the A is just as good as an S to me in terms of, like, the S for me is just kind of like, these three dragons are some of my favorite dragons of all time, and it's just kind of like, I feel like S is more of a personal, really, really love these dragons, would date if they asked me to date, except for maybe Bahamut because his faith is like 10 years old. So, no thanks, not into that. Don't want to be into it. Nah. Beautiful, sexy dragon, but also, yeah, his faith is a child, so go back to school. And these ones just have really nice designs. Like, I've kind of just rated these based on designs, I suppose, less so sexy. But another thing to consider is that because I don't know, like I mentioned it before, because I don't know the personalities of them all, some of them can't have personalities, really, because they're just Yu-Gi-Oh cards. But in terms of more of, like, an appearance, so it is very superficial. I don't really believe in, like, judging a book by its cover, per se, sort of thing. But I do... These are just imaginary dragons. Leave me alone. I'm just gonna say they're all sexy. They're all perfect. But in terms of it, I think this is a pretty solid rank. S and A, the A is very interchangeable into the S. I feel like that's okay. The S rank, perfect. These ones are always going to be perfect. Cinder's perfect. And yeah, they're all just really good, solid designs. I really like all of these dragons. There's something going for them. They all, like, kind of know who they are, what they want to be, sort of thing. And they rock it. They rock it really well. And I love it. So thanks for sending me all these designs, guys. I had a lot of fun. And no dragon is ever less than the best. So that's why these ranks don't even deserve to exist for a dragon. So I guess I'll wrap it up there because those are all the ones I had. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. This is Ash signing out.